First, I have to say I'm honored to have both Father Al and Father Joe with us. I don't know if you see us as the Three Musketeers or the Three Stooges, or the Muska-Stooges or something, but we're almost to a High Holy Mass. Yesterday's Gospel, let me just go backwards for like 30 seconds, was that one where Jesus is talking about who is justified. And you've got the Pharisee who's in church and in the synagogue, and it's all about, thank God I'm not like those people. You remember this gospel? And then there's the tax collector who's in the corner just hitting his breast saying, oh, God, have mercy on me, a sinner. And Jesus is like, that's the one who's justified with God. And it struck me yesterday, I was at the Visitation Monastery, and what struck me in that moment is something that I've noticed. This July will be 20 years ordained for me. And of all the sacraments when you're in formation, the one that most worried me, like that I just didn't think I was ready for or prepared for, was the sacrament of reconciliation. And the penance practicum I did was very helpful. But here's the thing I've noticed in 20 years of hearing confessions. Far, 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 far too many people come to that sacrament with absolute fear. And I've got to say, somewhere between, I don't know, it's well over half, maybe 50, 60% of people start with some form of, I don't remember how this goes. And it's just you and us, right? You at home, don't listen. No, you can listen too. I just want to scream, I don't care. I don't care that you don't remember the formula. And more importantly, God doesn't care that you don't remember the formula. And I'm not here to beat up on formulas. They are wonderful. They can be very helpful in a space. The prodigal son has a formula, right? He's got a speech all ready to go. But I find that, so you get that at the start of confession. Like, I don't even remember. What am I supposed to, they'll start it, like they'll just start throwing out some stuff, and they'll go, oh, wait. Father, bless me, Father, for I've sinned. It's been, 6 months. Great. Calm down. Let's just do the sacrament. Let's just, and sometimes I say, just pour it out, man. Let it go. Why are you here? It isn't for a formula, I hope. I hope it's to truly be reconciled with God. And then, as you come through the sacrament, this happens a lot. And again, I wasn't prepared for this when I was first ordained. By the way, I was, just like after being ordained, I don't think it was 8 days, I was at World Youth Day in Toronto. And so I'm newly ordained. And quite frankly, I had finished school a whole year earlier. So my penance practicum, where I practiced all this, was like a year ago. And I'm just walking around the streets of Toronto in a collar, and people walk up and say they want to go to confession. Do you think I knew the words of absolution? And when did that occur to me? As I'm finishing this confession going, God the... And I bring that up because, and then I had to go back to my best friend, Father Joe Geoff, and I'm like, can you write this down on like a matchbook or something so I could be ready for this to go? And I bring that up because what often happens in confession is you give them the penance and then you say, now is when you make your act of contrition, and there's often this long pause. And people say something like this. Sorry, Father, I don't remember it. To which I would say, it's not an it. There are formulas. But there are many formulas, and the shortest one is from yesterday's gospel, oh God, have mercy on me, a sinner. Just those words. And by the way, you can always use any words you want, and if a priest tells you otherwise, Canon 987 says you don't even have to do one. And like I said, what upsets me about this is we're not getting to the relationship component if we're focused on the formula. And as I said, the son's got one ready to go. Father, I've sinned against heaven, against you. Michael, I'm not sure why you didn't sing the third one, because he said it, right? I know there's only so many bars in there, but I've sinned against heaven, against you. I don't deserve to be called your son. Treat me as a hired hand. And here's the thing about the sacrament. All you got to be is honest and contrite. That's all God's ever asked of us. A humble and contrite heart, O God, you will not spurn. And in that speech, he's got that. Father, I've sinned against heaven, against you. That is honest. You betcha. You wished that I was dead. That's how that story starts, right? I want what I get when you're dead, and I want it right now. That's how it starts. Father, I've sinned against heaven, against you. I don't deserve to be called your son. That's a statement of contrition. My actions, man, that's not how a son behaves. That's a contrite statement. But the third statement, no. The father interrupts him, right? Treat me as a hired hand. He wants to deny his own dignity. He wants to be something less than he is, and the father won't hear of it. On the contrary, he fully restores him to sonship, right? Put a ring on his finger, shoes on his feet. He's not wearing shoes. That's the behavior of a slave. He fully restores him. The ring fully restores him. I've made this point before, but I always think it's worthy of repeating. So you take his whole estate, and the firstborn gets a double portion. So the whole estate is in two-thirds, one-third. And so the prodigal son takes his third, leaves, and it's all gone. And when he comes back and the father puts a ring on his finger, he gets a new one-third, which means the older son just lost a whole new third of his. And as he points out to you, I have been here always, and this son of yours, you can hear it through gritted teeth now, right? Let me get this straight. Not only that, but you killed the fatted. We don't even get a kid goat for me and my friends. I've worked like a slave for you. You can hear the father. The father, by the way, is always in motion, isn't he? He runs to the son. Men don't run. This is so offensive of a sentence, it doesn't appear in the Iraqi translations of this story, that he ran to the son. That does not appear. Men don't run, children run. So the irony that the son wanted to deny his dignity, but it's the father who does. It's the father who sacrifices just like the son will for us. That the word prodigal means reckless. It means excessive in spending. And while the son initially is that, it is the father who is reckless in his mercy, who is excessive in his love. And as the older son is just angry because he just lost a new third, and he's done nothing wrong. The father says, hey man, if that's what this is about, everything's yours. Everything's yours. But this brother of yours, he's back, man, and we have to celebrate that. I hope the next time you have the opportunity for confession, it's this story you think of and not the formulas. I hope you think of coming to your own senses. I always remind people that are nervous in the sacrament, hey, this is not a fun sacrament, is it? To sit and name your weakness, that's not fun. To speak it out loud. But there's no other way to grow in the relationship with God. Because God has said it such, and this never ceases to blow my mind. We have this relationship with God, and there are things that you and I can do to break that relationship, and we call that sin. And the irony is, when you and I are honest and contrite, the relationship is reconciled in a way and is now stronger than it was before the sin. That blows my mind. That we're made in this image and likeness of God, and the one weak spot that we have, our ability to break that relationship, He set in motion that when we're honest and contrite, the relationship is actually deeper and stronger as a result of it. And so when we come to that sacrament, maybe a little nervous, but please, don't ever worry about it from the formula standpoint. I wouldn't say to my best friend, Father Joe, oh my Joe, I'm heartily sorry for having offended thee. In choosing to do wrong and failing to do good, I have failed to love your friendship above all things. Right? I don't speak a formula to my best friend when I've wronged him. I don't speak a formula to most people. Don't misunderstand me. If you love the formula, use it. But if it's keeping you from the sacrament, well, then it's not about a relationship. And that's absolutely what this story is about. Not just the prodigal son, but the whole scriptures. This Eucharist, you and I together, is relationship. God the Trinity is relationship. The second person of the Trinity choosing out of love to die for us. That is relationship. And so when we need to come to God, we just need to be honest and contrite. Let us prepare ourselves for this Eucharist and pour out our heart to God. Because what we find is a prodigal father, a reckless father, an excessive father. that will love away that which has broken the relationship. That just always blows my mind. Like I said, it's a little heartbreaking when you're sitting in the sacrament and you see someone that's all worked up about something that has nothing to do with that. Nothing to do with it. If you still need it, we have the penance service for the parish, but if you still need that opportunity, priests are available for it. Don't miss that opportunity. If you're like me, I say this is the last thing I'll say to you. I see the sacrament of reconciliation like the weight room. Maybe you like the weight room. I don't. But when I go and I leave it, this is how I feel the same about penance and the weight room. You're like, I don't want to go, I don't want to go. But then I get in there, and as I'm walking out, I'm always like, I'm glad I did that. I should probably go more often. Because this sacrament is the spiritual weight room for us. It's where we come to name our weakness. Because when we're honest and contrite, God can flood us with his mercy in a way that's not possible until we say it. So let us not be afraid to come to him in that relationship and be honest and contrite. Coming right up next is his presence to be taken within us, to again fill those spaces that need to be healed. As we continue down this Lenten journey and work our way to the cross, never lose sight of his reckless love, his reckless and excessive mercy for you. May God be praised.